Til Luchau here. I'm going to talk about my next article in Massage and Bodywork magazine, Understanding Pain and Inflammation. Pain and inflammation often, maybe most of the time, maybe almost always go together. You could say that almost every client complaint you get has to do with inflammation, and if it's a painful one at least. And yet pain and inflammation aren't quite the same things. They're different. They interplay. They actually can cause each other in a kind of cycle, which I'll write about in the future. But this time I'm writing about how pain and inflammation interact and what they have in common. They're both, interestingly enough, good. They're both necessary biological functions. Pain keeps us from doing things that are hurting us. It shapes our behavior. Inflammation protects us in that it gets in there and cleans up any damage and starts to repair it, or any invaders, pathogens. They're both protective responses. They happen on different timescales, by the way. Pain can be instant as soon as we touch something hot. Inflammation, by the way, takes some time to ramp up and go through its cycles and hand off the relay to the next set of cells and fluids and proteins that do the work, and it can take time to resolve. So working with pain and inflammation end up being really different too. You have to take a different approach to each one, understand how they're interrelated, but also have a different set of expectations around how they respond to your hands and how they respond over time. Interestingly, both pain and inflammation are related to not only to each other, but to psychosocial or emotional factors, where we know that people that are depressed have more chronic pain. Same is true with people that are depressed for inflammation. People that are depressed have stronger inflammatory responses, and there's some evidence that the inflammatory responses are causing the depression for people. Now, it's not like you just get upset and you get inflamed. Even though a lot of the words, though, we use for emotional states are the same words we use for inflammation, like, well, inflamed, reactive, sensitive, irritated. Those are all inflammatory words. They're also emotional words. But it's not like they happen instantly together. They're different modes. Our emotional states and feelings are a whole different complex response than our inflammatory responses, you could say, in our physiology and our tissue. However, there is some interplay, and there is some parallel, and they both are essentially protective responses that help us deal with our environment and deal with input and take care of ourselves and protect ourselves. So because they're so related, it's good to understand how they interrelate. Because they're different, it's good to understand how we need to work with them, how they feel different under our hands, and how they manifest differently over time. How their resolution is essentially what we're after, because pain and inflammation and emotions are all great. What's a drag is when they don't resolve, when they stick around longer than they're needed for, and we can't seem to get out of them. So a lot of our work becomes about how do we help those things resolve and cycle through. I'm going to go into some pretty direct and specific hands-on approaches for those things. I start to outline these in this article, and in the upcoming series of articles we're going to go into that some more. So check out this latest article in Massage and Bodywork. As always, email or come to our Facebook forum if you want to clarify or discuss. It's great to hear your stories too. Take care, be well, see you around.
A lot of these techniques are like that. You can totally integrate them into a massage practice or a physical therapy practice or a Rolfing practice or whatever to really go after specific issues without it taking a whole lot of time. And it's a lifesaver. I've just had so many happy people. They're like, oh my God, you've got magic hands. And I go, thank you, Til. Because it does the job really nicely.